Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Gifties podcast. I'm Maytag,
I'm cut to the chase.
And I'm Smoogers.
and this is going to become a bi-weekly thing that we do, where we find stories to talk about and just kind of talk about ourselves too. If you guys, as always, want to get in contact with us about the way that we're doing this, if you think that you have any suggestions for us, feel free to find us on Facebook at facebook.com/gftproductions. Email us at giftiesproductions@gmail.com, or subscribe to our subreddit and keep us posted there. Of course, all of that will be included in the description below. So, guys, the first thing I wanted to talk about today is something that's been really, really popular just about everywhere in the video game sphere of influence, and that's the new Super Smash Brothers.
Ooh man.
Now I know, we've gotten a lot of reveals lately about the characters that are going to be in it, and they're still keeping quiet about a few of the characters that people have been asking about for a long time, like Mewtwo, Solid Snake. But like I said, we've gotten a lot of unveiling so far. So just to start this off, how much experience do you guys have with Super Smash Brothers?
I played a lot of the one on the Nintendo 64 and on GameCube, but not so much Brawl.
Oh yeah, it was different for me. I played the one on a GameCube and then Brawl. I haven't really played much of the N64 one.
See, I've actually owned all three, and that's the original being Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 64, which is what you guys are mentioning, and Melee, which was the GameCube one,
Hmm.
and then Brawl. And a lot of people are saying, Melee was the best Super Smash Brothers. They want this new Super Smash Brothers to be just like Brawl. But I disagree. In my opinion, I think that Brawl was the best Super Smash Brothers. I don't think that Melee held that title in the slightest for me. Now, that being said, I wasn't on the competitive scene for Super Smash Brothers in any way, shape, or form. We just played it a lot whenever we were still at the school, and but just to me, having the wide roster of characters that Brawl had, really made the game. You know?
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
in competitions, they use Project M, which is sort of merging the Brawl roster with Melee roster and
Ooh.
using Super Smash Bros. Melee physics instead. So,
Yeah, I've heard about that actually. That's always brought up whenever Super Smash Brothers is brought up. Uh, isn't that the one that people like to just put characters into it? Like I remember seeing something about having Sora and Roxas
I,
from Kingdom Hearts and Super Smash
hmm.
Brothers.
never seen that,
I
but
don't think
it
so.
might.
I don't know. That might just be me then. It might just be something
Yeah.
that I saw one time.
I think.
But what was that,
Oh
Chase?
no, I was just thinking like you might be thinking of something I think it was a long time ago called like Mugen, which was like this sort of thing that put a bunch of like you could put any character you wanted from any sprite game and put it in there and battle each other. It was pretty interesting.
I don't know. But what do you guys think about the reveal so far
I think it's
about
interesting.
about the character
Like,
roster?
they're ones that whenever I think of Super Smash Bros, that's not the first thing that comes to mind, and I think that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Really?
Yeah, like, like the Pac-Man Wii Fit trainer. Like, I'm curious as to
Mm.
how those are gonna work out.
I'm curious about the villager. I don't know why, but
I
that
couldn't think of his
face.
name,
Oh yeah, he
so I
was.
just said Wii Fit.
He was one of the original. He was one of the first releases rather for this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And I remember people making a big deal about him because he had like eyes of death or
That
something
face.
whenever he was dropping the bowling ball to spike the guy off the
I
ledge.
love the memes so much. I think I just want to use the villager the entire time I play the game. I'll just get like pro.
Villager feed.
Now, a character that everyone always seems like they want to have come back, or two of them rather, um, is Roy from Melee and Mewtwo from Melee. Uh,
Hmm.
and what do you guys think about that? Because I know both of you did say that you had played Melee, and so you were kind of familiar with it. I mean, do you think that they should make a comeback, or do you think that we should just kind of leave them and continue on to new characters?
I didn't play those two characters that often, so I can't really put a big input on that. But I don't see why not.
I didn't play Roy all that much, but I played a lot of Mewtwo in my days. I wasn't very good and didn't know how to juggle people properly, but I just enjoyed him as a
Yeah.
person. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, I remember whenever the Wii Fit trainer came out, that people were kind of surprised that they were including such a niche character, I guess you could say, from their series. But keeping in mind that since Wii Fit trainer came out, and Pac-Man and Mega Man, and even the Villager for crying out loud. What Nintendo character would you like to see in any of the Smash Brothers really? Which Nintendo character that you think doesn't have as much appreciation as it should make it into the game?
Oh man, I gotta think about this. John, you go ahead. I'm gonna.
uh, I think this Nintendo because it was in like a little flash game someone made containing a bunch of different characters for wait, no, it's not Nintendo. I was thinking Ryu Hayabusa, but I don't know if that's actually
Oh,
Nintendo.
from no, that's Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
That's Team Ninja. Team Ninja usually actually I think is working more with Microsoft and Sony now than
Yeah.
Nintendo. But the original Nintendo Ninja Gaiden was for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So I mean that's not
Yeah.
unthinkable.
Like I was thinking of the older things, but more recent ones are more Microsoft.
Yeah.
So
Now for me, I would love to see Paper Mario
ooh,
uh, in Super Smash Brothers. I think that that those games have a lot of personality. It's a new take on Mario,
Sure.
and it has plenty of moves that it could use. You have the hammer attack with all it's almost like quick time events, but not.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play the Paper Mario
Oh,
series?
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I loved that game. I played a Thousand Year
Thousand
Door,
Year
something
Door.
like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was. I really enjoyed it. I never quite got to finish it. It's in fact I probably should do that because I have my GameCube with that game. So.
Yeah, I was near the end. I had to get to the moon and couldn't figure it out, so I just sort of like grinded.
Oh well.
um, but yeah, but you guys know what I'm talking about whenever I say that game has a lot of
Yeah.
Oh
personality.
yeah.
I feel like it did really well with Toon Link whenever Toon Link came in
Mhm.
from Wind Waker.
Oh yeah.
And even though it was still Link, they made him a bit heavier. They gave him slightly different moves, different textures to his moves, and it really, I feel like it really enhanced the game. So you always have Mario in there,
Yeah,
and
Mario
for
and
Brawl,
different
Mario
versions like
was
Dr. Mario.
yeah, exactly. So I don't see why we couldn't have Paper Mario be a playable character. I feel like that would be incredible.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
You got yours yet, Chase?
No, I can't think because I don't know. It's because a lot of my favorite Nintendo characters are already really being introduced in the newer Smash Bros. Like Mega Man, Pac-Man, things like that. So
Yeah.
I mean they've already kind of pleased me with this. I mean heck I love the Villager. I'll say that again. But yeah no I'm pretty pleased with the roster so far. I mean so I can't really think of another one. I'm pretty sure there's one out there that I'm like that I feel like should be included, but it's not coming to my mind.
All right. Now, something another because I've been on the forums for this game for a while now because I've always been a really big fan of Smash Brothers. Uh, Ridley, from Metroid, the giant
Oh
purple
yeah, the big
fire-breathing
dragon.
dragon
Oh
Ridley.
yeah.
People have been rumoring and supposedly leaking that he is going to be in the new game for a while now. What do you guys think about that? Because to me, that's ridiculous, quite frankly. Uh, to have Ridley as a playable character in Brawl because in I mean not in Brawl in Smash
Mhm.
Brothers, but in Brawl they had Meta Ridley as one of the bosses that you fought in the main quest.
Mm.
They had I think they had both regular Ridley and Meta Ridley from Prime, Metroid Prime. And I was very surprised in general that they included them in the game. But now that Ridley has been supposedly leaked by people online to the forums, I don't know how I feel about that at all.
I mean, I feel like he'll play like just sort of one of the floaty characters, sort of like Kirby, where he just
Oh
sort of
yeah.
flies a
Or
bit and
or Pit.
Or oh yeah,
Um,
Pit. Oh man, I love Pit. That's basically what I did. Uh,
um, Yeah, but I don't know. It's just now that I think about it, there's no reason why Ridley shouldn't be in the game because they have a lot of the nemesis from other series in there. Like they had Wolf and Brawl,
Bowser,
which was the main
Yeah,
nemesis
Ganondorf.
from and of course Bowser and Ganondorf.
King
Uh,
Dedede, and Meta Knight.
well, Meta Knight wasn't really
I
the
mean,
antagonist of Kirby. He was like an anti-hero.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Um,
And Wario's sort of the anti-hero as well.
Wario's in a different category
I don't
altogether.
know.
I am really pleased though that they decided to include Mega Man and Pac-Man and Sonic in the roster because I mean it's really hard to get game companies, rival game companies, to all agree to showcase their games in one area. I remember reading an article about why we're probably never going to see a Mortal Kombat X Capcom or a DC versus Marvel game,
Yeah.
and it's purely because they've tried in the past, and every time they try, the squabbles over which characters should have which moves, how to balance the characters, they just become so ridiculous because every single company wants their character to be the best character, and if they're not owned or maintained by the same company, like for instance Mortal Kombat X Capcom, I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat X DC, they were handled I think by Konami whenever they made that game. So I mean, it was really easy to balance the characters because you had one person who was in charge of it all, saying, okay, I understand that you want Scorpion to be more powerful than Superman, but uh, this is how this game is going to have to be balanced for it worked. And that was the boss, so he was the one that it answered to. But whenever you have two different companies, two rival companies especially, working towards the same goal, you don't have that person that's in charge to say no, you can't have your way, and yes, you can have your way.
Yeah.
So eventually it just gets to the point where it's not worth pursuing the game, which is really sad. But somehow Nintendo's always been, I feel like, always been pretty good about reaching out to different game developers. So I really am glad that we get to see Pac-Man versus Mario versus Sonic the Hedgehog to kind of round out everything to see them fight against each other.
Oh,
See
yeah.
who's better.
I'm really interested to see Pac-Man's fighting and all that. I don't know why. I want him to
Yeah.
kind of be like Kirby, where he eats the other players.
Um.
Real quick,
So
do you
yeah,
know if the Smash Balls are gonna return?
Oh man.
yes, they are.
Yes.
Final Smashes have been confirmed to be in the game. So we've got that to look forward to. They actually, if you go on the website, I think on the main Smash Brothers website, they have every single Final Smash in the game so far. I think for all the characters that have been announced.
Ooh, I must see this.
So you can look at those whenever you want to.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get the
Yeah, I know, it's
3DS
exciting.
version because I don't have a Wii U, unfortunately.
Well, the 3DS version actually is coming out several months before the Wii U version is. The 3DS version is, I think, scheduled to release sometime in July, whereas the Wii U version isn't going to be released until December. Is that right?
July,
think
August,
so.
September. It's like September 3rd or October 3rd. I might
Yeah,
have miscounted.
Yeah, the launch
Oh, okay.
the launch date for the
Okay.
3DS is October 3rd. Yeah.
October 3rd. Okay. Sorry, I was a bit off there then, but yeah, the Wii U version isn't coming out until Christmas, so or around that time. So it's just a bit much longer of a wait. Hopefully by that time I will have a Wii U, and Nintendo will finally let us do a few of their games so that I can showcase a bit of Smash Brothers because, like I said, I've always been a big fan of that game, of that game series. So I really hope it. All right, guys, so that just about does it for this topic. At this time, we would normally have an advertisement going, but currently we have nobody to advertise for. So if you would like to see yourself, your company, or some gadget that you may have, some product that you would like to see endorsed by a new and upcoming podcast, then feel free to contact us at giftiesproductions@gmail.com, and you can use this slot for your own personal advertising. Isn't that neat?
It is neat.
All right, guys. So, what should we talk about next? What do you guys got for me?
So there's a thread that a person asked people on Reddit, "What's the easiest money you've ever earned?" So I just figured that'd be
Uh-oh.
interesting, and
Ooh.
I will share just the first three because the first two
Okay.
are very short and don't need much explanation. So the first one was a guy in China. His job was basically, hey, I'm white. I can put on a suit and go eat dinner with business people, and that's what he got paid for.
You're kidding.
No, it's called open quotation marks a white face close quotation marks job.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the point of that?
Uh, just publicity maybe. I don't.
Ah.
Like, okay, because that really begs the question
Yeah.
of like, do people in China really value having a white person in a suit that much that they're willing to, put somebody on their payroll to just go eat dinner with them?
I don't know. It's probably pretty fancy. I know. I say don't knock it till you try it.
No, I mean, shit, I might be going to China then soon because if that's all I have to do to make a living, then I mean, I would happily do
Yeah,
that.
it's all publicity. It's to make it
Oh
look
wow.
like you're a big CEO of a company.
Oh wow. When you're
So
really
it's
just a
it's
white man in a suit.
Yep.
it's almost like prostitution then. I mean, really, when you think
Oh
about it,
boy.
you pay somebody to just be seen with you, to do things with you. That way, people don't think that you're just some loser who, doesn't have white friends or anything. I guess.
Doesn't have white friends.
Um, all right, so that's
Yeah.
interesting. Uh, what else? What else does it say?
Uh, on that topic, not very much more. Well, not that I feel like reading. Uh, but another one is a guy went to a festival and just had a booth where he was just handing out like free water to people, but people were on drugs,
Whoa.
so they were super thirsty and also super generous. So they would just give them like $20 tips
Oh
for free
jeez.
water.
Oh,
Wow. I
thanks,
mean, hey,
man.
I feel like I would really appreciate that too. I mean, anytime I go to a festival of any kind, or even to any sporting events, the waters are like $5 a
Yeah.
piece. Whenever, I feel like if I saw a guy giving away free water, I'd be more inclined to give them money than if I saw, a stand that was like, we're the only stand that sells water and we're selling them for like $7.
Pretty much
Uh,
water giver by day, millionaire by night.
Millionaire by night.
um, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like that actually. I feel like that's a really good example of how being nice, being charitable can really pay back sometimes because a lot of people, especially in America, uh, they consider making money to be like the top priority. And I mean, it's really not that much trouble to go buy a few cases of water for $10-12
Mm,
and sit around and make a few hundreds of people's days just by giving them something to drink. And the fact that he got paid for it, I mean, that's just icing on the cake. I feel like I like that.
yeah.
I really do
I don't
like
even know
that.
if it was like bottled water. It could have just been like hose water, and he was just passing it out.
Hey, dude, whatever works, I guess.
But apparently, people also, because he had dark curly hair that was like really long and also a beard, people thought he was Jesus. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, sure.
I
Why
mean,
not?
hey, rather walk on water or give it.
Okay. What was that? What was the third one you
All
said?
right, last one. So this one is going to take a little bit longer to explain because it's several paragraphs, but
Oh.
that's like, man, I can shorten it.
Yeah.
Guy was in school about 6th grade, and his teacher wanted to teach the class about how society works and stuff. And so at the last hour of every day, they would turn their classroom into a quote unquote town where everyone owned like a little shop and they had their own government with fake money and a bank and everyone had like jobs.
Oh.
So this guy, he was chief of police and the only policeman. And so he had to make up a few laws and give out tickets for things like chewing gum in class, but he didn't because he didn't want his class to hate him because he was in sixth grade.
Oh.
Uh,
Right.
so the teacher sort of fired him from his job for not giving out enough tickets. So
Just like real life.
yeah. So with his salary from his policeman role, he opened up a shop where he sold candy and gum. So he made a deal to point out that it's basically like uh, losing your job as a cop and then becoming a drug dealer.
Well,
Because he was supposed to give out tickets for people who were chewing gum. And then after that job, he sold said gum.
well, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, that's actually brilliant.
But
That's
so
Marketing.
not just
uh,
that he did that, but that the teacher wanted to teach that lesson in the first place to kind of
it's
set that
it's
up.
not over yet. No.
Oh.
Oh,
We're,
okay.
There's
we're
more.
I'm
getting to
sorry.
the money making part now.
Oh.
So the teacher is the last week of school, and the teacher's like, "All right, so anyone who is in good like economic standing will win a pizza party. And when you're 11, that's like winning the lottery. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
most of the majority of the class, like 4/5, at the very beginning, they took out a loan to start their shop. So, and they sort of forgot about it and never paid it off, so they were still in debt.
Oh.
And this
Uh-oh.
guy, he started out with like public money and got a salary as the cop. So he was
Right.
never in debt or had to take out a loan.
Oh wow.
So he had like he only needed like $1 in like good standing. And so he had a lot of excess money and everyone else didn't. So demand was
Wow.
super high for his fairly low supply. So they started paying him actual money for his fake money,
Oh.
and he made about $40 off of that.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
his closing remarks were, "So I went from an elected official who didn't do his job to basically a drug dealer to basically a money launderer, and came out on top. So I definitely learned how society works."
Well, there we go.
That's brilliant.
Wow,
that's absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
That's why I wanted to share that one.
So great.
I mean, I wish I had done something like that in sixth grade.
$40 as a
the-
sixth grader is.
Oh my God, that's a video game. Back when we were in sixth
I
grade.
I mean,
and
$40 as
would've
an
thought
18-year-old is.
And if it's back far enough, it's like that's enough to just play in the arcade for like weeks.
Oh man, I would have been cloud nine right there. Now, I actually, believe it or not, it's not the same, but it's a sort of similar experience. Meaning that I was really young and was, cranking out a money mogul inspired empire. Whenever I was this was in third grade, back whenever I lived in DeRidder, we had something called Sippy,
Mhm.
which happened after lunch. It was like between lunch and whenever we got out of school, and basically it was like every Tuesday and Thursday, I think. We would go to the gym, and all the teachers would have tables set up that had candy and drinks that you could go in and buy for a few quarters, up to like $1 for everything. So of course the candy didn't cost so much to buy, so it was raising funds for the school. Now, uh, about halfway through the year, after everyone kind of got over the fact that I was a new kid, and I had sort of settled in with my group of friends. This is actually after I met Travis, who's now my best friend. I decided that I was tired of people saying that they lost their Sippy money, and complaining about it and crying about it. So I actually spent my free time, which I had a lot of because I wasn't in GT yet. So I got through with I was like the first person done with all of my stuff all the time. So I started folding these pouches out of paper, making them out of glue paper and staples that would hold quarters and dollars on opposite sides of each other
Whoa.
for these kids to use during Sippy, and I would sell them. If they just wanted the coin pouch, it would be 25 cents to buy one. If they wanted the dollar, or if they wanted the dollar pouch, it's 50 cents. If they wanted the dollar and coin pouch, it'd be 75 cents. And I mean, I'm talking about I must have sold one of those to every single person in that
Oh
school.
my god.
Uh, by the end of it, I had like 15 or so dollars
Jeez.
that I was very proud of myself for making. Um, and I don't think I ever ended up telling my parents about it because I don't think they would have approved of.
But
'Cause, I mean, I was basically. I mean, I was providing a service that the kids obviously needed because they couldn't keep hold of their SIPI
You
money.
might as well lose your
Um,
money to something that'll help you keep your money. I mean,
there we go.
right? And at the end of the year after like I said, I think I got around $15 in total, which is a lot considering I was selling things for
Yeah.
quarters. Um, I actually on the last day of Sippy, I spent all of that money on candy and tickets to the school fair that we had, quote unquote school fair, which was a bunch of little games that they set up and we could win small prizes from them. And I used that money on me and my friends to have fun with. So I feel like at the end of the day, I learned a valuable lesson out of that, a
mhm.
valuable lesson that I never followed up on because I have not made anything to sell since then. I don't think
Yeah.
ever.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit easier to make things when you're younger because it's like, you make a piece. You said you used paper and just made like a bunch of pouches. I mean, obviously that it's yeah, I'm losing my words here.
Just
Yeah,
walk
but it's
around
That's right.
campus selling paper to
yeah, I mean
people.
it's a lot easier to walk around campus selling things than like nowadays where it's kind of like, oh, hey, I got something to sell, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's absolutely true. Nowadays, if I were to, as an adult, to make something to sell to people, they would expect the quality to be at a certain standard.
Yeah.
I certainly couldn't get away with selling sippy pouches
Yeah.
to,
Wanna buy
to
a
people
sippy
just like
pouch?
standing at the
What
mall.
is this?
Are you coming on
You
to
know,
me? What?
uh, that being said, as you guys know, I'm very into making things out of duct tape, and I feel like that's actually along a similar vein.
Mhm.
Uh, my incredulous habits there. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll make a comeback with my sippy pouches, except for making duct tape wallets or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for that
Yeah.
segment.
No.
Good stories, good fun, laughs were
Indeed.
had. Indeed. So once again, during this time, we would like to extend a heartfelt greeting to any of the other podcasters and YouTubers out there. Should you want us to advertise for your channel, email us. It would not cost you anything except for a few minutes of your time, and we would be more than happy to help out other fellow newcomers. Once again, if you would like to get in contact with us, the best way to do it is by emailing us at giftiesproductions@gmail.com. You can look for all of our links to all of our social networking and ways to get in contact with us in the description to this video or podcast below. Thank you for your time. All right, guys. Chase, do you have any stories for
Oh
us?
yeah.
Because if not, then I have something that I think that I feel like we should talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I have a quick story that well, a quick thing that just came out in the realm of science that is fairly interesting.
Oh,
Ooh, science.
I mean, it's a new robot that was made. It's called Hitchbot, which will basically be hitchhiking across Canada, and but it won't be like moving or anything. It'll be using speech and such to get people to hitchhike it across Canada, which is fairly interesting. And a lot of people are concerned that the project might be a problem because there's always the thing that like, can people trust robots, but can robots trust human beings? Because if this thing's going to be carried by hundreds of people, who's to say one person isn't going to mess it up? You know?
yeah, yeah. I'd be really worried about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
Um,
but yeah,
what are they like trying to prove with the robot?
yeah. It's I really don't know exactly what they're trying to prove. I think they're just
Seeing if they can do it.
seeing if they can do it. But Hitchbot apparently has a personality of its own. In fact, it also has a blog apparently.
What?
Yeah, it's its blog is at hitchbot.me, hitchbot.me, and it basically is able to speech recognition and understand a conversation.
It's adorable.
Yeah, like it's he's basically, here's one of the things it said. It's like, I may look young, but I have an old soul. I enjoy listening to electronic music. I currently have Mr. Roboto on repeat, but the Blue Man Group and Kraftwerk are also amazing. The blog reads.
I like it.
It's pretty interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it's basically like just sort of like to see how far it can go,
Mm.
and
Okay, yeah.
it's gonna blog
It's
about
sort of
it the
like
entire way.
did you guys ever do that thing? I think it was called findmybill.com.
Oh yeah, I've done that once or
Never
twice.
heard of
Where you type in you get out a dollar bill and you type in the serial code that's on the dollar bill, that's located on the bottom left hand side of the currency, and basically it'll tell you whoever else has registered that same serial number. It'll show you that the path that dollar has taken across the country. And sometimes people are really surprised at how many people have handled that dollar bill and put it on that site. And it was made to show just how many people have touched that currency before, just how many people have handled that currency, and how well our infrastructure works. That a dollar that was spent in Louisiana will make its way to Canada or New York, or like Wisconsin. It was really clever to see, and I feel like Hitchbot, if one person doesn't just take Hitchbot
Mhm.
or destroy Hitchbot or mess him up in any way, shape, or
I'm
form.
assuming it has
Uh,
at least some sort of tracking device inside it.
oh yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
In order to like go across the country. But I feel like it'd be really interesting to see the path that it takes, because it says on his blog, I'm looking at it right now, that it's making its way across Canada.
Mhm.
So at some point it wants to end up um, on the other side from where it started. So there's no telling the path that it'll take
Oh,
over
man.
there, because whenever people pick them up, then they're probably gonna like take them home, or show them off to their friends. So there's no telling the exact route that he's gonna take to get there. Um, but I, for one, welcome our new hitchhiking robot overlords.
I mean, it even
Indeed,
tweets.
indeed. Yeah, I mean, for crying out loud. Heck, the a couple of like a month or so ago, there was this thing on, what was it? Oh, sorry, Tumblr, and it was a it was what do you call it? It's like
What do
chat
you call
bot.
it?
It's like a chat bot, but it like has a mind, like it's to simulate a conversation.
Oh, are you talking about Cleverbot?
No, it's not Cleverbot. It was something different. It was hold on, I think I have it favorited somewhere on my computer. I can get it for you guys. But yeah, it would basically like it was called Iris. It was,
Iris.
yeah, but now it's called something different because they shut it down because they tried to integrate the older version of it, and it started cursing and everything. It was quite interesting.
Oh.
Let me get it for you guys real quick. So you
That I feel like it really says something that they had to upgrade the version of this bot because it started cursing, being exposed to the internet.
yeah, that was probably the first one. I mean, but now they have an even newer one. It's zdk13eros.tumblr.com, and it's yeah, but it's a interactive public messaging AI with a Tumblr. It's basically what it is. It's called Eros now. The old one was called
Eros.
Iris. But so like people ask it questions and it would give answers. So it's like, so here's one. Gotchi asked, "Will we be together forever?" It then gave it a picture and said, "Yes, if you want to, since I am an omniscient foreverer, I am all living and all beings, artificial intelligence AI, and no." It's pretty interesting because
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I remember I used to spend too much time on Cleverbot, which for those of you guys who don't know, who are listening, Cleverbot was the same sort of thing. It was supposed to learn from the conversations that it had with people on the internet, and it would pick up speech patterns and responses, and then it would reuse them in other conversations. So it seemed like you were talking to a real person sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would always trick it into contradicting itself because I don't know. I guess that was just sort of an old habit of
The
mine.
famous heated conflict with chatbot. You're a robot. No, I'm not. Wait, what? You're a robot. What?
Yeah, it's classic.
Basically.
No, but I like the idea of a little hitchhiking friend. Um, no, I say Godspeed, Hitchbot.
Indeed.
Uh,
Godspeed.
here's to good travels over Canada.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's
Uh,
Canada after all. I'm pretty sure it'll get pretty far. The people there are fairly nice.
I feel like you're just perpetuating a stereotype now,
Am
Chase.
I? Oh heavens, no.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. Uh,
um. Yeah. Of course, I feel like this would be the kind. If anywhere it would succeed, it would be Canada,
indeed.
because I just don't have faith in the culture of our country anymore. Like
Yeah.
it would if it started in like upstate New York, it would probably make it to
The
it'd make
curb.
it like across Philadelphia. It would make it to like let's see, it'd probably make it to like Michigan. And but once it started to like creep down to like Arkansas, Louisiana,
Oh boy.
Kentucky, oh, it would be gone in a second. It would be on the side of the road, and like somebody would hit it with their truck or shoot it with a shotgun.
So we
Uh,
suddenly just lose connection from Hitchbot, and it's like, where'd it go?
yeah,
It went
or
into the
like
south and then just disappeared.
if it made it towards the central United States, or towards the western coast, somebody would just pick it up and keep it forever, take selfies with it every
This is
day.
my souvenir.
Hashtag, hashtag swagbot.
This is my best friend. I found him on the side of the road. He keeps saying he wants to leave, but I know better.
uh,
So-
just like a regular hitchhiker. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a good
So on a
simulation then.
similar note, I have a friend of mine who, last year he worked a summer camp, but this year he couldn't do that camp because he is riding his bike with a few friends across the country for charity. So
Really?
he made it from Louisiana. I think the last place I saw him was Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he still going right
Yeah,
now?
he's still going.
Wow.
Wow, that's really impressive. I've always had a lot of respect for people who have conditioned themselves to the point where they could pull off something like
Yeah,
that.
like he is super well built and not self-maintaining, but like maintains his body very well.
Self macho.
Self
Self macho. Perfect.
Uh,
Yeah, my dad knew. I think it might have been one of his cadets. He's the professor of military science at Northwestern State University. Um, one of his cadets, I think, right now is doing the same thing. Is biking across the country. Either it's one of his cadets or it's one of his old army friends is doing the same thing. Where they started. I think they started in California and they're trying to make it to New York City. And I'm just like I said, I'm blown away by the fact that people are able to do that because I consider myself to be a pretty fit individual. I exercise regularly, and I try to keep control over my body. But I mean, I can't even imagine myself doing something like that.
yeah.
I mean, I think he was in the military for a little bit because he wore a Marine shirt a lot of the time in a bunch of his photos, and he uploaded a few short videos of him doing the whole like gun spinny things and stuff,
Right, right.
Spins so fast it's like a helicopter.
basically.
Which really begs the question: why don't they attach guns to the end of helicopter blades?
Get out of the way.
uh, United States military, if you would like to pay us for this brilliant idea, feel free. You can send a check in the mail, and just contact us, and we'll be more than happy to work with you on this schematic to make sure that the new gun-bladed helicopter will help us win every war that we come across and spread more freedom to the world. God bless America.
God bless America.
Why stop at
crying?
guns? Just put like rocket launchers on it.
Oh, there we go. Thinking big.
So you know how like 737s have those giant turbines
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
that's like the reason it can fly. Why not just make those into rocket launchers?
You get propelled by rockets.
Well, I mean that's in the early days of the NASA space program. That's what they plan to do. They plan to they had something called the blast shield launch system. I think is what it was called, and they would have a little bit of jet fuel propulsion to get it off the ground, and then it would just drop a nuclear bomb,
Ugh.
which and it would have a giant shield underneath the thrusters so that the actual ship didn't get damaged by the blast, but it would have, I think it was
Just
like it took
everything
like
else
three
will.
bombs. Well, they would launch it from like an ocean-based platform or something like that,
That
and it
platform
would
will be
and it would only
non-existent.
take well, yeah,
The
but it only took
platform's
like
gone.
it only took well the first one would be on the platform, the first one would detonate up on the platform, but the rest would be in the atmosphere, so it wouldn't really mess that much up. Um, but it only took like 3 or 4 bombs to get it out of the atmosphere, and it would cost much less than the fuel that we use now. But we decided not to use that technology for better or for worse. Um, but back to what we were talking about. I say from all of us here at Gifties Production, we wish you the best, Hitchbot. Um, give us a shout out if you're able to recognize the fact that we're talking to you with your all-knowing, all-powerful, sentient AI.
Omnipotent
And
being.
yeah, I say Godspeed.
Godspeed. All right.
Well, guys, I think that just about does it for all the time that we have today. Um, just as one last time. This is one final spot where you could be advertising for your YouTube channel or product. If you would like to see other gamers liking your stuff, if you would like to see other gamers talking about your stuff, then feel free to contact us at giftiesproductions@gmail.com, and we will be sure to set something up where we both are mutually happy with our decisions. Um, okay, guys, well, I think it's time to say goodbye. So everybody, I hope you have a good day. Look forward to more of these podcasts. We will be releasing them every Wednesday and Saturday at around 6 o'clock. I guess that's it. Goodbye, everyone. This has been Maytag.
This is Cut to the Chase.
And this is Smoogers.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.